It's the Red River Farm Network Crop Tour presented by Pioneer. Field agronomist Larry Lunder with us from Pioneer. And Larry, we've seen a little bit of everything today. Why don't you recap what we've seen on the first day of our tour?
Well, we started out in Strasburg, North Dakota with Quantum Ag. Of course, started out in a sunflower field. Sunflower, along with our small grains crop, is probably going to wind up being the best two yielding crops we have this year. From there, we proceeded up to McCluskey, North Dakota, and got a look at our Enlist soybean plot that was up there this year, and the new varieties and this new technology we're introducing into the market. Beans are holding on better probably than we'd hoped, but we definitely could have used a little more rain, a little more timely rain than what we got. And then, of course, we concluded the day with River Seeds here, looking at some corn just outside of Washburn, North Dakota, and of course this is under a pivot, so it looks pretty good. And the dry land situation on the corn, some fields they're hanging on pretty well yet. Some of the lesser, tougher soil fields are under some stress, obviously.
How are we doing as far as heat units in this part of the state?
We're doing pretty good. We're lagging a little behind the 5-year average. Of course, it's going to depend on exactly when you planted the crop, but for when we got into the field, we're in a lot better shape than I thought we would be. Of course, we had a fairly warm summer with a lot of warm evenings. That helped us make up a lot of ground as the season progressed on. So we're in much better shape than I thought we'd be a few months ago.
We talked about sunflowers at the top. We're seeing a lot of flowers this season in this region.
Well, there's nothing like a high-priced commodity crop to get a farmer to plant it, and we sure hope that the yield comes through and that they do well, and at this point it looks like they'll do very well with that crop.
Larry, like we said before, we're going to need a good fall to finish this crop off. As farmers get prepped for harvest season, what do you want to make sure that they have top of mind?
Well, just keep in mind where you need to go to get to maturity. Keep in mind, let's say on corn, for instance, when we hit that physiological maturity, that doesn't mean we're harvest maturity. It just means it has grown as much as it can, and then at that point you'll be at 35% moisture. Of course, we all know we have some work to do to get it down to something that's more harvestable. I would say keep those fingers crossed that we go pretty much frost-free through September. And then be ready, as we've had drought stress, be ready to go out there and get that crop off, because I think the longer it stands in the field, the more susceptible it might be to, having some issues with the crop leaning over and perhaps losing a little more shatter than normal on your soybeans. Just to manage accordingly. Don't get it off as fast as you can. It's always a good idea.
Always good to get out into those fields and make sure prioritize which ones you need to go first.
Always a good idea to understand just what you have.
Exactly right. Larry Lunder with us. He's been hosting us throughout the day today. Of course, field agronomist with Pioneer. It's the Red River Farm Network Crop Tour presented by Pioneer.